that are asking questions.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to County Court at Law number 6 and the Bexar County Veterans Treatment Court. Today we have both pleas and motion to revoke probation docket. It's 10 o'clock a.m. on Thursday, September 2nd, 2021. And the cases I have set for today. Motions to revoke probation that are going to need an interpreter: Francisco Ortiz, 876428, Jorge Flores Zylea, 644808, Daniel Lucio, 639362, Diego Mata, 640821, Catherine Gonzalez, 661158, Alexis Garcia, 640941, 642648, and 660603. Jacob Juarez, 655767, Nicholas Guevara, 657216, and we have one Spanish plea left over from yesterday, Daniel Garcia, 652620. Is Mr. Sandoval with us today?
Yes.
Why don't we start with Mr. Garcia's plea? Do we have our interpreter on board?
Yes.
Meet with my, okay, I'm good to go, I think. Question?
Ooh. Excuse me, I can't hear you, Your Honor.
Did someone have questions this morning?
Only that Mr. Alfonso, I believe, is asking for a reset and he needs to be in one, and County Court 15. He has an issue, Your Honor. And so I just thought we could take care of that fast.
Chris, what's going on?
How you doing, Your Honor? So we're on MTR. It's a 04 case. Spoke to Guillermo on it. We're looking at possibly doing a habeas on the case. We're trying to get some evidence from archives. There's nothing in there. He was removed from the United States after 04. He claims that he was actually innocent. It was supposed to be a 21 up establishment. He was a bouncer / bartender, never provided alcohol, so he thinks it was ineffective assistant counsel at the time. We understand this is pre-Padilla, but we want an opportunity to get the discovery from Guillermo and review a possibility of a habeas on the case.
This is a 2014 case, is that correct?
2004, actually, Your Honor.
Oh, 2004? My goodness.
Yes, Your Honor.
How much time do you need to do all this stuff?
Well, I don't know how long it's going to take him to get it from archives. That's the kind of the issue that we're going to have.
Good luck on getting anything out of archives from 2004. What are you trying to get from archives? I'm sorry. The original.
Well, and the evidence on the case, he's claiming that he was actually innocent, that he was told to take the plea because he would go to immigration. He deferred the plea on the case. Now we're going forward. He was removed from the United States subsequent to that, to the plea back in 04. That's why he didn't complete any of the conditions either. I think Guillermo is willing to work with us, but we're trying to see about getting the case, if we can do a habeas and get it dismissed.
Is he in jail?
Excuse me, Your Honor?
No,
Is Mr. not in jail?
no, Your Honor.
No.
I'm sorry, is he on bond?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is he in San Antonio or somewhere else?
San Antonio, Your Honor.
How about 2 weeks and see what you can do in 2 weeks, and then if we can't do it in 2 weeks, we'll talk again. Will that work for you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Who does he need to talk to try to get the archives? I'm guessing the criminal administration people, right?
Criminal Central Filing, Your Honor. They would have to order the file from archives if they have it, Your Honor.
Chris, call them today or tomorrow. Get this ball rolling. Let's don't sit on it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, and Your Honor, that would be the 15th. It will be on that Wednesday, not that Thursday, because Ms. Gross will be out.
And that'd be 10 a.m. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Chris, is that okay with you?
That should be fine, Your Honor. If anything, I'll reach out to Pat.
In that 2 weeks, I want you to file whatever you want to file and get whatever docs you can get. If you run into a roadblock, which I guarantee you will, let me know immediately, and let me see if I can do anything from my side, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor. I really appreciate that.
All right. Y'all are out of here. Thank you.
Thank you, Your
Okay,
Honor.
now, Your Honor, you can
Any
go
other
forward.
questions? Any other problems? What's going on?
No, Your Honor.
Sure, it's what they all say.
I know.
Problems. Hang on, let me put a line through Mr. Ortiz so we don't have to worry about him today. Okay, let's, Mr. Sandoval, we've kept you hanging around here for about a day and a half now, I think. Are you guys ready on Mr. Garcia's plea?
Thank you, Your Honor, and that's perfectly okay. I'm like Richard Gere in An Officer and a Gentleman. I got nowhere to go.
And our interpreter communication system is working today that it wasn't working yesterday. Is that correct for everybody?
Not for everybody,
Uh-oh.
but I'm going to translate for him if that's okay with you, Judge.
It's okay with me if it's okay with the state. Is that okay with you?
Guillermo, is it okay if Mr. McCrum translates for his client?
That's fine with me. Yes.
And we're going
Yes,
to
Judge.
record on that at the appropriate time. You're gonna be next, Scott. No problem. All right, let's do the plea on Mr. Garcia. We've got Mr. Sandoval. I assume we have Mr. Garcia with us. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, this is from 652.
Correcto.
652-620, State of Texas versus Daniel M. Garcia. And this is a plea. And the first document I need Mr. Garcia and Mr. Sandoval to identify their signatures on as entitled defendant's consent to plea by video conference that purports to have each of their signatures. Mr. Garcia, is this your signature on the document entitled defendant's consent to plea by video conference?
Correcto.
And Mr. Sandoval, as attorney for Mr. Garcia, is this also your signature on this document?
It is, Judge.
Thank you. The next document I have before me is entitled Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions that purports to have your signature on it, effectively waiving certain constitutional rights you must waive in order to enter a plea before this court. In fact, Mr. Garcia, is this your signature on this document also?
Correcto.
Mr. Garcia, by signing this document, are you telling me that you've had enough time to either read this document or have it read to you in its entirety? If you had any questions about what was on this document, those questions were answered to your satisfaction by your attorney, Mr. Sandoval, so that in signing this document, you're telling me that you agree with and understand everything on this document. Is that correct, sir?
Correcto.
And Mr. Garcia, I actually have two documents, exactly the same, one in English and one in Spanish. Is this your signature on both these documents, sir?
Correcto.
Thank you. Mr. Sandoval, as attorney for Mr. Garcia, have you had enough time to go over this case with him? And in your opinion, is he mentally competent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Garcia, are you a United States citizen, sir?
Correcto.
Did we get an answer on whether or not Mr. Garcia is a United States citizen?
Correcto.
That's yes, I'm guessing.
Correcto, sí.
All right. Mr. Sandoval, can you confirm after talking with Mr. Garcia that he is in fact a United States citizen?
That's the information he's provided me. Yes, Your Honor.
Great. Mr. Sandoval, as attorney for Mr. Garcia, has the state fully comply with discovery for you on this case?
Yes, Your Honor, they have, and I've signed a discovery acknowledgement agreement.
Okay, Mr. Garcia, in cause 652-620 to the charge of evading arrest or detention, how do you plead, sir?
No contest.
Is there an agreement for Mr. Garcia, please? And Guillermo, can you hear me? Is there a plea bargain on this case?
Yes, Judge. I'm sorry.
No
That
problem.
was Ms. Galloway's case, but yes, let's see. Your Honor,
Here's what I have, and you guys tell me if this is what your understanding is.
yes, Judge.
He's pled no contest. It's going to be sentenced to 4 days Bear County Jail, $0 fine plus court costs, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, judgment satisfied. Mr. Sandoval, is that your understanding of the plea bargain?
It is, Your Honor.
And Mr. Flores, is that your understanding of the plea bargain?
That is correct, Your Honor. And just so the court's aware, Ms. Galloway is telling me that she's having microphone issues. So, but yes, Judge.
Okay. Garcia, 652-620, the court accepts your guilty as $0 fine plus court cost, credit for time served, time and money.
You're breaking up.
All right, let me start over. Hang on. Mr. Garcia, in cause 652-620, the court accepts your plea of no contest to the charge of evading arrest. I find you guilty. I assess 4 days in the Bexar County Jail, a $0 fine plus court cost, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, judgment satisfied. Anything further from the state or the defense of Mr. Garcia?
No, Your Honor.
No, Judge.
Good luck, Mr. Garcia. Thank you, Mr. Sandoval.
Take care, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, this is cause 644-808, State of Texas versus Jorge Alberto Flores Zelaya. Representative.
Judge, can I just, I'm sorry, advise the translator? He's using my phone, so I think it's working now. So if she can go ahead and translate.
Okay.
Awesome.
Ms. Abrams, is that working?
Sí.
Jorge Alberto Flores Zelaya.
Sí.
Good.
All right, let's start over. This is cause 644-808, State of Texas versus Jorge Alberto Flores Zelaya. And I don't have in front of me, Pat, the waiver document. Is there a waiver document actually out there somewhere?
Pat, you're muted.
The paperwork was sent to you.
That doesn't mean I got it. But anyway, Mr. McCrum, do you see a document entitled the motion to revoke hearing by video conference?
I believe we submitted, signed and submitted, but I don't see that personally.
All right, Pat, you got to find it.
Your Honor, I'll send it to you again.
Send it to me again, please.
Sí.
Let's assume it's there, and we're going to proceed. If it's not there, then we're wasting our time, but let's do it anyway. All right. My understanding is that there is a document that exists, and it is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference, that purports to have both Mr. Flores Zelaya and Mr. McCrum's signatures on it. In fact, Mr. Flores Zelaya, did you sign this document?
Sí.
And in fact, Mr. McCrum, as attorney for Mr. Flores Zelaya, did you sign this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
The next document I have is going to be, let's see, entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked as a revocation, no, is marked as an adjudication of guilt following a deferred adjudication, and the defendant has a limited right of appeal. Did you sign this document, Mr. Flores Zelaya?
Sí.
And Mr. McCrum, as attorney for Mr. Flores Zelaya, did you sign this document also?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Representing the state is Mr. Guillermo Flores and Ms. Megan Galloway as Assistant Criminal District Attorneys. Representing the Bexar County CSCD is Ms. Susan Gross, who I will swear at this time. Ms. Gross, please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you. My understanding is this is going to be an uncontested motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Is that accurate, Mr. McCrum?
It's, well, I'm asking to not enter an adjudication of guilt. But we're not contesting the violations.
What we normally do is allow defendants to enter a plea of either true or not true with an explanation. And they have to really come to me, so to speak, as a trier of fact to make a determination whether I think it's true or not, or what mitigation may be applied. The other alternative is to request a full-blown contested hearing, which I think basically just brings in his probation officer, and that's about it. And then Susan, of course, with the file.
Yes, Judge. No, we do not want a full-blown hearing.
All
You
right.
will
So,
enter a true.
okay. Court accepts a plea of true with an explanation. Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Mr. Flores-Zalea's probation, please?
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant has been reporting as directed. We last saw him on August 3rd, 2021. He is paid $315 towards his fees. He has a balance of $1,164, and he is current at this time. We do not have proof of any of his 48 hours of community service having been completed. We have no proof of registration or completion of DWI education, victim impact panel, or CAT SNP. The defendant has one negative drug test. He is currently testing on Smart Start Mobile 4 times per day. He has had 2 incidents of high BRACs, registering 0.020 and 0.16. He has had 8 skip tests. He has no criminal history. And the officer is requesting that his Smart Start Mobile be increased to 6 times per day, and he have weekly drug tests.
Mr. McCrone, let me jump to the chase in the interest of judicial economy. When these kind of situations occur, here's my standard practice, and that would be to increase his Smart Start Mobile blows from 4 blows a day to 6 blows a day. Once he shows me a 30-day period of time without any skips and no high BRACs for alcohol, we'll crank him back down to 4 blows a day. We'll put him on weekly UAs with the understanding once he shows me 4 clean weekly UAs in a row, we'll put him back on monthly UAs. And I'm going to order substantial compliance, which means anything he hasn't done or programs he hasn't signed up for, he needs to actually sign up for them within 10 days. And he may not start for, weeks, who knows, but he'll at least be signed up for them and know what's coming. Is that equitable to the defense?
We're perfectly agreeable to that. And in fact, Judge, I think since the time of that report, he has even completed his DWI education and victim impact. And he says he's submitted those certificates. But yes, Judge, we're perfectly agreeable to that.
Thank you. Is that okay with you?
Yes, Your Honor, we are in agreement.
Are you sure? Because, you mean state prosecutors always want to put people in jail. You're not doing that today? Lucky day for the defense. All right, here's the plan. Mr. Flores-Zalea in cause 644-808, court accepts your plea of true. Good explanation to all conditions. I deny the state's motion to revoke your deferred adjudication and probation, or you continued on deferred adjudication and probation with no sanctions at this time. Altering and amending conditions, modifying your Smart Start mobile device within 24 hours from 4 blows a day to 6 blows a day. If you show me a 30-day period of time from this day forward where you have no high BRACs for alcohol and you haven't skipped any tests at 6 blows a day, I will put you back on 4 blows a day. I will not know you've done this if you do it. You have to let your lawyer know. He'll let me know. I'll confirm through probation, and then I'll order it. So that takes care of that. We're putting you on weekly UAs with the understanding that once you show me 4 clean weekly UAs with no alcohol or other colorful substances in it, we'll put you back again on monthly UAs. But once again, I won't know you've done that if you've done it. You need to let your attorney know. He'll let me know. I'll confirm it through probation, and then we'll order it. I'm also ordering substantial compliance within 10 days, which just means that any programs you haven't registered for, and I understand you've probably done some of these, DWI education, victim impact panel, those sorts of things, that you have not gotten credit for, please provide proof to your probation officer that you've done those, and we'll immediately get you credit for those. And if you're not registered already, start the Community Alliance for Traffic Safety New Intervention Program, which is our outpatient drug program. And I want him registered in that within 10 days. Once again, he may or may not actually start within 10 days. I don't know what their schedule allows. Are there any questions, Mr. Flores Zelaya?
No. Todo está claro.
Anything further? Thank you. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Flores Zelaya?
I have
No, Your
stuff.
Honor.
Susan, go ahead.
Mr. Zelaya, within 24 hours, you will receive your amended conditions in your email. You need to sign them and send them back to your officer. Call your officer this afternoon and let Ms. Pena know what happened today, and she will adjust your times on your device. You have any questions?
No. Todo bien.
Okay, I'm done, Judge. Good luck to everybody.
Thank you all. You're dismissed. Good luck, Mr. Flores Zelaya, and thank you, Mr. McCrum.
Thank you, Judge.
Do we have more need for interpreter today? Is that it? We lost Mr. Ortiz.
We're fine, Your Honor. We don't have any more.
Okay, and is this the same interpreter? Are we going to get Miss Abrams this afternoon, or do we need somebody else?
I do not know who it'll be, whoever they have available at that time.
Okay, thank you, Miss Abrams. Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Okay, let's see what else we got. Next case I've got is,
Your Honor,
yes.
Your Honor, okay, the male inmates came in very late, so they're still talking with their attorneys, Your Honor. And Alexis Garcia, the paperwork you need to sign. However, the on bond people are here and you should have their paperwork.
Okay.
Does he have the paperwork, Pat, on Gonzalez?
I've got paperwork on Miss Gonzalez and Miss
Yes.
Kramer, Mr. Juarez,
Yes,
and
Mr. Guevara.
yeah, Miss Hewitt, is she back?
Yes, she's here,
Okay, great.
just so that you know who you have. Thank you.
And Mr. Guevara and Mr. Hitchings, those three, right?
Yes.
We're here,
yes.
Your Honor.
Everybody,
Let's start with 661158, State of Texas versus Catherine Gonzalez, represented by Ms. Suzanne Kramer. The aforementioned parties representing the state, once again, Mr. Guillermo Flores, Ms. Megan Galloway, representing the Bear County CSCD is Ms. Susan Gross, who I remind is still under oath. And once again, representing the defendant, Ms. Suzanne Kramer. Ms. Gonzalez and Ms. Kramer, I have two documents for you to identify your signatures on for me. First one entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference. In fact, Ms. Gonzalez, is this your signature on this document, ma'am?
Yes, sir, it is.
Thank you. And Ms. Kramer, as attorney for Ms. Gonzalez, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. Next document I have is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked the revocation of the defendant's community supervision, and the defendant has a right to appeal the court's actions revoking the community supervision, but not the underlying conviction. Is this your signature on this document also, Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes, sir, it is.
And Ms. Kramer, as attorney for Ms. Gonzalez, this is also your signature on this document.
Yes, Judge.
This is a motion to revoke community supervision. My understanding is that this is an uncontested motion to revoke community supervision. Is that accurate, Ms. Kramer?
Well, Judge, there's only one allegation in the motion to revoke, which is a non-report, and she does refute that allegation. So I told Pat, we're going to plead not true to that. I don't believe Ms. Gonzalez. You can certainly ask her, wants to wait 10 more days if you're not willing to give her a PR bond for this hearing, and just go forward with it today. I did discuss that with her. You might want to get that on the record.
Basically, you have two options. A, you can ask for a contested hearing, which would be a full-blown hearing. I think probably the only witness would be her probation officer, whoever she was supposed to have a meeting with on or about August 13th, 2021 for orientation, I guess. Or you can go to me as a trier of fact and plead not true with the understanding that it's not going to be a contested hearing. I'm going to make a final decision on whether it's true or not true or mitigated or whatever the facts may turn out to be. Is that what you request to do?
May I speak, Your Honor? They picked me up on, I was here for a month last time and they.
Okay, Catherine, right now, if you're going to give Judge fact of this case, he's going to need to put you under oath. He's
That
just
is
asking you
fine.
right
I'm sorry.
now. He's just asking you, Catherine, right now. Do you want to reset it for 10 days to get your probation officer in here? Or do you want to proceed on a not true today and let the judge be the finder of fact? That's all he asked you right now. Do you want to go forward today?
The fact that I would like to proceed is because I was picked up on some warrants. When I was sitting here your 30 days, sir, that you gave me.
Okay, Catherine,
I had
again,
court.
Catherine, Catherine,
While I was in jail.
Catherine, you need to simply answer that one question. Do you want to proceed today or do you want the judge to reset it? Then, once we go forward, you can let the judge have all that information. And Judge, I will tell you, because of these
Yes,
obvious
sir, go
issues
ahead,
I've
sir.
had with her communicating, she has consistently asked for Bob Hicks. I am more than happy
Go
to
ahead,
appoint
sir.
him.
Go ahead, sir. I was
He
just.
did,
You know
he
that.
did represent her on the first MTR. He is representing her on the prostitution third.
All right, everybody stop talking. Ms. Gonzalez, don't talk for just a minute. Let me hear from your attorney, and then we're gonna come back to you and you can tell me whatever you want if it's okay with your attorney. Is that okay with you? All right, Ms. Kramer, please proceed.
Yes, Judge. As you can see, I've told her whatever she does when we get into the courtroom, do not interrupt the judge. She will have an opportunity to tell her side of the story. You see the difficulty that I'm having with that. She's certainly competent. She's just not really listening to instructions. She has, however, been consistently asking for Bob Hicks. Now, he does represent her on the prostitution third. He did represent her on the first MTR in this court where you continued her. We do have a semblance of a defense on this non-reporting allegation. I can't verify it, but if true, it does make sense. I haven't really been able to get out of her what she wants to do. It did sound like toward the end that she was saying she just wants to proceed today.
Okay, let me back up and bear with me. Ms. Gonzalez, let me talk a second, then I'm gonna want you to talk, okay? Let me see if I understand what the allegation is. Basically, Ms. Gonzalez was arrested and charged with the crime of assault bodily injury. And I assume she went to jail and they let her out of jail and she was supposed to, or I don't know if she entered a plea. I guess she entered a plea on her. She wouldn't be on probation. She was supposed to go to orientation and the probation department says she didn't show up for orientation. Is that correct?
And that was the first MTR, Judge.
All right. And has she reported since then?
No,
Okay, so that takes care of that. I understand. How long has Ms. Gonzalez been in jail? 44 days is what my information is.
Yes. And she likely might have more time, but yes, she's got quite a chunk of time.
All right, Ms. Gonzalez, let me continue talking for a second, then I want to hear from you. If she wants to go forward today, I'll just tell the state and the defense what I have in mind is to go ahead and revoke her and sentence her to judgment satisfied for whatever time she has in jail. And if that's equitable to the defense and okay with Ms. Gonzalez, we can proceed. If you want to do something else, then y'all can let me know. Do you need to go in a breakout room with her, Suzanne, and talk to her about this?
No, it looks like from her body language, she fully understands what you're saying.
Ms. Gonzalez, would you talk now and let us know what you'd like to do?
So what does it mean that like fully revoke me?
Put me in a breakout room, Judge.
Yes.
Okay, I'll put her in the breakout room. And
Thank
she
you.
Your Honor. Okay,
Okay, let's proceed on cause 655-767, State of Texas versus Jacob J. Juarez Jr., represented by Ms. Loretta Hewitt. This is a motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Once again, representing the state, Assistant Criminal District Attorneys Guillermo Flores and Megan Galloway. Representing the Bexar County CSCD is Ms. Susan Gross, who I remind is still under oath. My understanding, Ms. Hewitt, is that this is going to be an uncontested motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Is that true?
yes.
Okay. I have two documents for Mr. Juarez and Ms. Hewitt to identify their signatures on for me. The first is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference. In fact, Mr. Juarez, is this your signature on this document, sir? You need to turn your microphone on, sir. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Gotcha.
What was the question, sir? I'm sorry.
Is this your signature on this document that has a title of defendant's consent to motion to revoke hearing by video conference?
Yes, sir. That is my signature.
And Ms. Hewitt, as attorney for Mr. Juarez, is this also your signature on this document?
It is.
The next document I have is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked, quote, is an adjudication of guilt following a deferred adjudication, and the defendant has a limited right of appeal. Is this your signature on this document also, Mr. Juarez?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And Ms. Hewitt, as attorney for Mr. Juarez, is this also your signature on this document?
It is.
Mr. Juarez, in cause 655767 on the motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision, how do you plead, sir?
Not guilty.
Okay, Ms. Hewitt, over to you.
I guess put me in a breakout room with him.
That'd be fine. Pat, are you still with us?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Hewitt and Mr. Flores can go back into the same breakout room. He just needs to join it.
You're going to send Ms. Hewitt and Mr. Juarez to a
Oh,
breakout?
well, Mr. Juarez, okay. Hold a minute. Sorry, Your Honor. All right. I want to say it is. Find out which one, number 5. Okay. Sorry, Your Honor.
Suzanne, are you ready? You want to go back on Suzanne's,
ma'am.
Judge?
Is she ready so I can bring her back?
Yeah, she's ready.
All right.
All right, are we going back on the record on Ms. Gonzalez? Is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
Back on the record on cause 661158, State of Texas versus Catherine Gonzalez. Defense counsel, Ms. Kramer and Ms. Gonzalez are coming back from a breakout room after having discussed what they'd like to do. What's the verdict, Ms. Kramer?
She wants to plead true and take the sentence that you had expressed you were inclined to give her.
Is that okay with you, Ms. Gonzalez? Okay. On cause 661158, Ms. Gonzalez, on the motion to revoke community supervision, how do you plead, ma'am?
Guilty?
It's true or not true, Ms. Gonzalez?
True, right? It's true.
Yes.
And state recommendation?
Your Honor, we recommend that the court revoke the defendant's community supervision and sentence her to 88 days in the Bear County Jail, credit for time served, time and money.
And I'm sorry, go ahead.
And that this judgment be satisfied, Your Honor.
Susan, do you know the original fine on this case?
Yes, sir. She had a $0 fine.
All right. And Suzanne confirmed she has 44 days in jail. Does that sound right?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Gonzalez, in cause 661158, the court accepts your plea of true with an explanation. I grant the state's motion to revoke your probation. I sentence you to 44 days in the Bear County Jail, a $0 fine plus court cost. Credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, judgment satisfied. Anything further for the sake of the defendant, Ms. Gonzalez?
No, Judge. Thank you very much. May I be excused?
You bet. Thank you, Ms. Kramer. Good luck, Ms. Gonzalez.
Thank you, sir. God bless you.
Is it just me, Mr. Aguilera, or are you looking more like Santa Claus every day?
Judge, I'll take that as a compliment. You're the third person to call me Santa Claus today.
We can get you some sideline work during the Christmas season if you want it. I'll put the good word in for you.
Well, I need to work on my belly then.
Okay. Mr. Hitchings, are y'all ready on Mr. Guevara's case?
Ready, Your Honor.
657216, State of Texas versus Nicholas Guevara, represented by Mr. Barry Hitchings. Mr. Guevara, Mr. Hitchings, I need to confirm your signatures on a couple of documents. The first entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference. In fact, Mr. Guevara, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Mr. Hitchings, as attorney for Mr. Guevara, is this also your signature on this document?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. The next document I have is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked as an adjudication of guilt following a deferred adjudication, and the defendant has a limited right of appeal. Is this your signature on this document also, Mr. Guevara?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Hitchings, as attorney for Mr. Guevara, is this also your signature on this document?
It is, Your Honor.
This is a motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. My understanding is this is uncontested. Is that correct, Mr. Hitching?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Guevara, in clause 657216, on the motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision, how do you plead, sir?
No contest.
No, it'll either be true or not true, Nicholas.
Oh, true, Your Honor.
Fair enough. Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the state of Mr. Guevara's probation?
Yes, Your Honor.
I had one question for you too as well, Doug.
Mr. Guevara, I don't know who's got background noise.
I should.
If you're not being spoken to, you need to mute your microphone, Mr. Lucio.
Everybody that I'm not talking to right now, please turn your microphone off. We're getting some background noise.
Okay, starting over. Judge, his reporting has been good. We last saw him on August 16th of 2021. There have been no payments made on the case. He has a balance of $625 and he is delinquent $188. We have no proof of any of his 36 hours of community service having been completed. And we have no proof of enrollment in the drug offender education program or the firearms safety course. He has had 3 positive drug tests, 1 for marijuana, 1 for methamphetamines, and 1 for alcohol. His criminal history includes a prior arrest for possession of marijuana, 4 ounces to 5 pounds, and possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 3, less than 28 grams. His officer is recommending weekly drug testing.
We tried that. It seems to be working. All right. Mr. Hitchings, my concern, of course, is the methamphetamine. And in prior experience, and the textbook solution is inpatient rehabilitation, which our options are the substance abuse treatment facility if he qualifies for a minimum of 120 days. The problem we're having these days, and Susan, correct me if I'm wrong, the probability is Mr. Guevara will have to be in jail for probably 1 to 2 months before he ever gets to go to the facility, best case scenario. But in these cases, I don't really have a lot of options. He either volunteers for inpatient rehab, and those are the cards we're dealt on that one, or he gets revoked. Your input, please.
Were you talking to Ms. Gross or to me, Your Honor?
I'm talking to Mr. Hitchings. Go ahead, Bear.
I think the testing on methamphetamines, I think that was, probably a fluke. He was put on deferred adjudication on June 24th, 2021. He reported on July 23rd, 2021, 1 day less than a month after he was put on deferred. And then, of course, that's where the 3 tests were, showing positive for alcohol, positive for methamphetamines, and positive for marijuana. On the methamphetamines, he told me he took, it was his mother's prescription for Adderall, and he shouldn't have taken it. She had a prescription, he did not. I think that's why he ended up testing positive for methamphetamines. He had taken marijuana before he was given deferred adjudication. That may very well have been a residue. The probation office, as Ms. Gross has said, they're recommending that he continue on supervision with weekly UAs, and here's an opportunity for him to prove himself. And once he has 4 clean UA exams, that the court can then consider returning him back to monthly UAs. Just a chance to give him, for him to prove himself. He's a young man. This is his first time back on a motion to enter adjudication of guilt. We had asked that he just be given a chance to prove himself. He was gainfully employed at Hollingsworth as a packer, earning $15 an hour. When he got the warrant and he was arrested, the bail was set at $10,000. He did make a bond. He had to come up with roughly $1,000, 10% to pay the bail bondsman. And so that used up a lot of his money resources. He was put on full GPS. He understood that to mean essentially a house arrest. So he has stayed in his house, not even left to go to work. We would urge the court to follow the recommendation of the probation office to continue his supervision with weekly UA exams. Once he has 4 clean, and I think he'll have 4 clean, then the court consider putting him back on just having monthly UA exams. He would like to prove the court, and this is in the probation office report, that he can comply with his supervision requirements. As noted in the report of the probation office, he's apologized for his behavior and for the alcohol and the illegal drug use, and then for the positive test on methamphetamines. He would like to be able, I don't know if he still has his job at Hollingsworth as a packer, because he hasn't gone there. He's just been sitting at his home. He would like to continue his full-time employment with Hollingsworth, be able to satisfy all the conditions that are imposed on him, and continue his employment with his employer if he still has that employment.
My records show that he's got a case on possession of controlled substance PG3 less than 28 grams in this court. Was that TIC'd on this case, or is that still pending somewhere?
I don't know about that, Your
Your
Honor.
Honor, I believe I thought they were taken into consideration. I don't think there was a file, information filed at that point on that case.
I'm looking it up, Judge.
All right.
Your Honor, it looks like that case is closed.
Okay, so it's not still pending. That's my big issue.
Correct.
Yes, it's,
A state recommendation?
Your Honor, we agree with Sadif.
All right, Mr. Hastings, as previously referenced, I'm going to give Mr. Guevara 2 options. A, he can choose to go to the substance abuse treatment facility for rehabilitation on, I don't know, methamphetamine, alcohol, marijuana, all the above, or he can get revoked. You want to go in a chat room and chat with him about those 2 possibilities?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, are they gone? Back on the record on cause 655-767, State of Texas versus Jacob Juarez Jr. Ms. Hewitt, last time we were here, before y'all went out to chat, Mr. Juarez was contemplating what he wanted to plead. Did y'all figure that out?
We did, Judge. We're ready to proceed.
All right. Back on the record on 655-767, State of Texas versus Jacob J. Juarez Jr. Mr. Juarez, on the motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision, how do you plead, sir?
True.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Mr. Juarez probation?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Juarez has been reporting as directed. We last saw him on August 26th of 2021. He has paid $192 towards his fees. He has a balance of $1,137, and he is delinquent $102. We have no proof of any of his 24 hours of community service having been completed. He has completed DWI education, victim impact panel, and we have no proof of enrollment or completion of the CAPSNP program. He is currently testing on Smart Start Mobile at 4 times per day, and he has skipped 5 tests. He has 1 positive drug test for marijuana. He has 1 prior arrest for unlawful carrying of a weapon, This is his first violation report, first motion to revoke, and his officers, excuse me, his officer is recommending weekly drug testing and that his Smart Start mobile be increased to 6 times per day.
Before I ask Ms. Hewitt what she's requesting, he went on probation June 17, 2021, right?
Yes,
And he tested positive for marijuana July 16th, 2021, which is plus or minus 30 days after he went on probation. Does that sound right?
yes,
All right, so the possibility exists this marijuana hit could have come from smoking marijuana before he was on probation. Is that possible?
possibly. I can look up the level, and the level will kind of give me a good idea.
All right, well, let's just give him the benefit of the doubt. Ms. Hewitt, I'm not excited about marijuana right now. What happens again? I would be excited. So what is the defense requesting, please?
We are in agreement with this recommendation. Just to let the court know, he just told me this morning that he has completed 7 hours of the community service. And I told him to provide the proof to his officer. He did, like Ms. Gross said, he's already done 2 of the classes. His only reason for missing those tests is that my understanding is that they were a time when he was sleeping. He and I have had a very in-depth conversation about it. Doesn't matter. He's going to have to find a way to wake up for those tests. And we also talked about the positive marijuana, and he assured me that the levels will be going down when further tests are taken.
Now August level ought to be 0, so we'll see where that goes at some appropriate time.
Mr. Juarez is, Judge, one of the few clients that I have that is extremely responsive when I need to speak with him, and responsible about listening to what I have to say to get on track with this. I don't say that very often of clients. I have full confidence that he's going to do well on this.
State recommendation.
Judge, we agree with probation's recommendation in this case. We also recommend that the defendant registers for the CAT-SNP program within 3 weeks.
May I say something, Your Honor?
Sure, for your attorney's permission, absolutely.
Sure.
Yes, I'm currently undergoing CAT-SNP already. It's every Tuesday, every week. I have about 3 classes left. I'm almost done with the CAT-SNP as well. So I have sent proof of receipts of me showing up to CAT-SNP to my PO, my probation officer. So I don't know where that proof is at, but I am undergoing all of the conditions for my probation. I'm almost done with the 3rd class.
Are you prior military, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, you said CO in that, commanding officer in the military.
I said PO, probation officer.
Oh, PO, okay, I got you. All good. Hang on. Here's the plan. Mr. Juarez, in cause 655-767, the court accepts your plea of true with an explanation on the motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. I deny the state's motion to revoke your deferred adjudication or to continue on deferred adjudication with all prior requirements and no sanction at this time, although I have the authority to put you in jail for 30 days to get your attention. Will that be necessary, sir?
No, sir.
Good answer. Altering and amending conditions, modifying your Smart Start mobile from 4 blows a day to 6 blows a day. So if you weren't getting sleep before, you're really not going to get sleep now. Show me a 30-day period of time, which could be 30 days from right now, where you don't miss any blows at 6 blows a day and there are no high bracs for alcohol, and I'll crank you back down to 4 blows a day. So that takes care of that. I'm going to put you on weekly UAs. Show me 4 clean weekly UAs in a row, and I'll take you off of that and put you back on monthly again. And that's it.
Yes, sir.
Is that okay with you guys, Miss Hewitt?
Yes, Judge.
State, I know you want to put everybody in jail, but is that okay with you at this point?
Yes, Judge.
All right. Good luck, Mr. Juarez. Thank you, Miss Hewitt.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Juarez.
Yes, ma'am.
You're going to be getting an email with your amended conditions in the next 24 hours. You need to sign them and return them back. Call
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Inez this afternoon and let her know what happened here this morning And she'll be adjusting your Smart Start mobile times, okay?
I have a new probation officer. It went from Ms. Mañez to Crystal Hernandez.
Okay, all right, well then touch base with Ms. Hernandez.
Yes, ma'am.
And, but call her this afternoon and just let her know that you were in court this morning and that your blows were increased and that you need to be put on weekly drug testing. And once I get done with all the court, I'll be doing all the paperwork and sending it to her, and then she'll send it to you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You can log off and I'll call you, Mr. Juarez.
Back on the record on 657-216, State of Texas versus Nicholas Guevara. Mr. Hitchings and Mr. Guevara, having been out to confer, are now back, and I can't remember what our issue was at the time. Mr. Hitchings, where were we at?
Well, the issue was, as explained by the court, it boiled down to two options: either the substance abuse treatment facility with rehab, or that he could be revoked.
Right.
And so, given the confinement to those two options, he has picked the substance abuse treatment facility.
Okay. Mr. Guevara, on call 657-216, the court accepts your plea of true with an explanation. At this time, I'm going to grant the state's motion to revoke your deferred adjudication probation, adjudicate you guilty of the offense of unlawfully carrying a handgun, sentence you to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail, probated for 1 year, and all the prior requirements of your previous probation, and you get credit for anything you've done or any monies you paid. Altering and amending conditions and adding the substance abuse treatment facility for 120 days. And you're going to be sent to the Bexar County Jail. Let's have a report on Monday at 9 a.m. to the Bexar County Jail to get medically qualified or cleared for the status.
That's the Labor Day holiday. Do you want him to report on holiday?
Jail's still open, I'll bet you. You want to bet?
I wouldn't put any money on it, Judge. I would think they would have a skeleton crew on a Labor Day holiday.
All I need is one officer to sign in. So 9 o'clock a.m. on Monday, the 6th. If there's a problem, have him call you and you call me, and you've got my cell number.
Okay. Your Honor, one question.
Yes, sir.
With the probation or rehabilitation center, that's in addition to 1 year in Bexar County?
Here's how it works, best I can tell, Mr. Guevara. I think it's going to take them a minimum of 30 days and probably a maximum of 60 days, but I have no control over it, so I can't accurately assess it. How long you're going to be in jail till you're, normally it takes about 2 weeks to a month to get medically cleared. Then it's going to take a minimum of probably another 30 days or maybe longer to actually get a bed in the substance abuse treatment facility. Then you'll be in this, go ahead, Susan, I'm sorry.
Medical clearance is taking up to 90 days.
So he'd be in jail for 90 days waiting to get a bed at SATA?
Yes, and then once he's cleared, it could take another 4 to 6 weeks for him to get transferred.
Your Honor.
That's information we didn't have before. Mr. Hitchings, you want to go chat with him again on this thing? It sounds like he's going to have to be in jail 3 to 4 months before he ever gets the SATA, which is kind of crazy.
Well, which out of the two options, almost a no-brainer is to get revoked.
Right.
And unfortunately, he misses the treatment.
There are treatment programs available to him in the jail.
Okay.
All right, here's the plan. Mr. Guevara, if I were you, I have to follow Mr. Hitchings' guidance. I would go ahead and choose the revocation, because otherwise it's just too unfair to jail you for 4 or 5 months. And then you start 4 months of inpatient. So I agree with Mr. Hitchings wholeheartedly, and I commend you for volunteering to go to rehabilitation, but it's not really going to be a reasonable choice. So do you agree with Mr. Hitchings, Mr. Guevara, you're requesting to be revoked in lieu of SATA under the circumstances?
Yes, Your Honor. And I want to add on to that, I have no desire to be using any substances or alcohol. I've been taking this very seriously since I made my mistake. Although we got off to a rough start, just want to show you that I'm a good person and I'll do anything I need to do to prove that.
All right. Well, Mr. Guevara, clause 657216, based on the representations of Ms. Gross with the probation department and the unreasonable circumstances that are going to just not be fair to you as far as volunteering to go to rehabilitation in the substance abuse treatment facility. The court accepts your plea of true. I grant the state's motion to revoke your deferred adjudication probation. I adjudicate you guilty of the offense of unlawfully carrying a handgun. I sentence you to 6 months in the Bexar County Jail, assess a $2,000 fine plus court costs, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent. Now, 5 minutes ago, that would have been a year in jail and a $4,000 fine. But because you volunteered for SATF, even though you can't go, I'm giving you 6 months credit, okay? So thank you for doing that, and I'm sorry I can't accommodate you. Mr. Hitchings, anything further from your side? He's still going to report on Monday at 9 a.m., which is September 6th.
Yes, Your Honor.
I mean, if you'd rather report tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., we can do that too. What would you rather do? Doesn't matter to me.
Well, I'd like to enjoy the time I have out here just to.
All right. So Monday the 6th of September at 9 a.m. Is that good for you, Mr. Guevara? All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's the plan. If there's a problem, let me know.
Okay.
All right. Best of luck, Mr. Guevara. Thank you, Mr. Hitchings. You're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. What else we got ready to go? We just did some paperwork. I don't know what it is.
Judge, we do have Alexis Garcia.
Uh,
Thank you at the paperwork.
Yeah, Your Honor, her paperwork, there are two, and we also have Mr. Lucio's paperwork is there for you to sign.
Okay, I'm supposed to have some paperwork to sign. It's not coming up on my radar. You sure I didn't already sign it?
No, Your Honor. Alexis, I'm sending you, but Mr. Daniel Lucio was signed, Your Honor. It was at 10:58, so you should have gotten around that time. Daniel Lucio.
Got it.
Okay. And as soon as I get it, I'll send you all the paperwork.
Is Guillermo free so I can go into a breakout room with him?
Hold on. Let me just do one thing, Jessica, and I'll get you in.
And Susan, I also sent you an email. I was sent the wrong MTR.
Look.
For Daryl King.
Okay, let me, Jessica, I'll put you in room 1. Guillermo, I'll put you in 1 so you can talk. Where do I have you already?
I just resent it, Jessica. Sorry about that.
Go into 1, and I'm just waiting for Mr. Lucio's paperwork, Your Honor.
I just signed it and sent it in, so we'll see where that goes.
I got it. And
Jessica, I just resent it.
okay.
Where are we on paperwork on Alexis and Garcia?
I'm sending it to you right now with Lucio's.
And also Mr. Mata.
Mr. Mata, they are in a break room. Ray Martinez just came in, and so we're going over that with them right now.
All right, thanks.
So you should receive that.
And we already did Mr. Flores Zelaya, right? In
Yes, Your Honor.
64308. I noticed on the trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, the defendant's name is not at the top of the page. It's another glitch from computer or something. It says
Okay.
number 6. It should have his name. So ask the clerk to put his name in there, and that's all that needs.
All right, Your Honor.
There's something going on with the system
The
because
whole
I've been,
system is messed up.
yeah. Well,
me call the
as you
clerk.
know, Judge, I sent you all the MTRs and it attached somebody else's under somebody else's name and crazy.
I think that was the soju, Susan.
No, no, maybe a wild weasel. No soju. And that wild weasel was delicious.
Let's come off of YouTube for a minute while we get this all figured out.